Then comes the next level. After that, and now this is where there is a trick. This is where there is a profound trick, and this is where there is a problem which the world is facing, and which is where, if you see the work that we have done in Illumine over the last decade, has been really about that. Which is that we have gone from interpretation, they have called this knowledge, and then from knowledge they have blithely called it wisdom, not knowing what it means. So they call it data, information, knowledge, wisdom. So that is your traditional KM model. Data, information, knowledge, wisdom. And knowledge for them is nothing but interpretation. And this wisdom is an unknown quantity. Actually, they assume wisdom is equal to judgment, it's equal to thought, it's equal to doing the right thing, it includes values, it includes a mass of stuff which is actually not known but which is not empirically accessible. So you simply say all that is called wisdom. So in other words, you have an others category which may be 3/4 of the whole thing, and the actual categories may be 1/4 of the whole thing. Correct? So then comes the shift, the Illumine shift, where actually we have seen the next phase to be engagement with knowledge. It is not wisdom, it's actually engagement. How do I engage with knowledge? Because engage, after you interpret knowledge, what happens next? People assume that what happens next is I will act. So will I act with the knowledge or will I act in the knowledge? If I am acting with the knowledge, I am still interpreting, correct? But I still have to act, and if I have to act in some knowledge, right? So if you expect that that knowledge truly impacts your action, then you have to act in the knowledge and not with the knowledge. Our entire educational system prevents us from acting with knowledge. Prevent in knowledge. They teach us how to act with knowledge. That's why we keep divorce ourselves from our knowledge, and I say खेलते रहते हैं इसके साथ. We go on playing with knowledge. Therefore, it's an abstraction. Therefore, it's unreal actually. For us, only real is action. Why? Because we say I will interpret and then I will act. There is a dichotomy created here, and that dichotomy is the dichotomy of intentionality, human intentionality. I have done all my information collection. The doctor has interpreted and said, boy, you better reduce your weight, you better start exercising. He gives you recommendations also. I have to act. So I have interpreted the whole situation and I have to act. Do we act? We don't. Why? Because something else is missing, no? That something else is that an intentionality doesn't close. Correct? The transformation doesn't take place from that knowledge. That knowledge is separate, action is separate. For example, you take the word co-creation. We all know it is knowledge here. If somebody comes in into Illumine today, he will look at co-creation as a knowledge. But to live co-creation or to live in the knowledge of co-creation is very different from to live with, to play with the word co-creation. Is that not? Here we interpret co-creation. This requires co-creation. You can see that also. You can go all the way. You can say it requires, this is what needs to be done, everything you know. But finally you are not co-creating. You are still creating yourself. That is possible or not? So this interpretation is one thing. There is a state higher than that, which is engagement with knowledge. So there is a turn away from where the world is, and that is where Illumine starts operating. We get into something called engagement. And let me tell you what is the consequence of it. The consequence of this is this, that all your life you may know many things, you may perceive many things, but you will not be happy. You will not have transformed. You will not fundamentally be able to bring about deep changes in your existence. You will be condemned to live where you are. I use the word condemned because you may want to change, you may have the knowledge to change, but you may be condemned to live where you are. So there is something called engagement. And in engagement there is no outside and inside. It's become one. Here there are two things. There are models and there is data. Here there is classification and data, here there are models and information. Here in interpretation, in engagement there is nothing. There is just engagement. It's a whole. And after that engagement, in engagement, the characteristic of engagement is that I learn to wholly perceive the possibilities inherent in that knowledge. That is the first thing. I am able to perceive the possibilities inherent in the knowledge. That means the value of that knowledge starts becoming apparent to me. Because the value of that knowledge to me and to my life starts becoming apparent, I actually start wanting to be it, to live it. You will find the greatest entrepreneurs, for example, in the world, whether you take, are all people who engage with some piece of knowledge and actually saw the value of it and let it grow their life. But that being able to see the value of that knowledge with the whole of one's being is very different from intellectually perceiving, to figuring it out. Because, and now I say something very, very crucial, the day you start engaging, you change in the moment. You don't have to have a separate intentionality between interpretation and action. The intentionality is inbuilt into it. You change as you engage. So this is a very, very powerful inflection point in your existence when you shift from here to here. How many of us, many of us here have studied science. How many of us live the scientific method? Very few. Many of us understand history. How many of us live with a historical perspective of existence? That is, knowing that there is a certain perspective, there is a certain flow in which things happen. Are we able to be broad-minded enough to say that this too shall pass? We don't feel like that. We don't let go of anything. History is supposed to give you that perspective, right? Do we live like that? What is all that study of science done for us? Have we got a single, in most of the most important decisions in our life, we are still superstitious, dogmatic, unwilling to play with data, depending upon our reason rather than looking at the data and playing with reason and data together. How many of us are even willing to play with models and interpretation in a logical way through one's life? That's what rapid prototyping is, right? To build a model, to play with it, to take the model, again to build a new model. So the whole process of rapid prototyping itself demands that I play with models and interpretation. How many of us are willing to accept what it means? Because true scientific method requires humility, no? It requires detachment from your previous knowledge. The greatest Western scientists are no different from the greatest Indian saints in that respect, no? How much of that has come to us?